Hi, I'd like to continue our discussion of responsive web and HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And, in the last couple videos, we created a simple page with some boxes. And the boxes, you can see there's 3 of them here in the wide screen. And when the screen gets narrower, it switches to a 50% layout and they sit side by side, right? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk about working with this area here. Imagine what if that was an image, right? How would you deal with an image that needed to be responsive? You'll notice the size of these boxes, they change width, right? So we'll need the images to change size to fit the box, right? So what are we going to do? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look in my folder here. That's actually not the folder that I want. The one I want is over here. Yeah, there we go, right? So here's my folder here. And I've got 3 images in here, just called A, B, and C. And what I think I'll do is I'll make an images folder. And then I'll put the 3 images in the folder there. And this HTML file right here, index, is the page that we're working on. So, to get to these images, we'll say images slash, name of file, A JPEG or B JPEG, right? Okay. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to put the image in here. So if we look at the markup that we have, I've created a div here that is, it's called box image. Okay. And inside here, I'd like to put the image. So what I'll do is I'll start with the image tag, and I'll follow it up with the source attribute. And then, I'm using brackets, and it kind of code hints me for files, like, because it knows that I want to put the URL or the path to a file here. So I'll use this to kind of help me out. But there we go, right? So now I've got my image here. And then, I have 3 of these boxes. So here's another one right here. It says box image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the image source equals, and we'll put image B in there. And then on the third one right here, it says div class box image, right? We'll put image source, and then this will be image C, right? So these images are a little larger than those boxes, right? So when I refresh it here, you can see the pictures are really big, and so I'm going to scale them down so they fit inside the box, right? So what we're going to do here is this. Now remember, the structure is the same on each one of these divs, right? So each box, which is that yellow box with the red space at the bottom, right, is one of these units here. And the yellow space at the top is this div called box image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my style sheet and find the class for box image here. And I've given it a height of 200. But I don't really want to give it the height of 200 because if I put the picture in there, I want it to be as tall as the content. So we use the height of 200 previously just as a placeholder to reserve some space, but now we're going to remove that. And since box image contains the image tag, right, then that image that the tag loads up will hold the space for us, right? Okay, so we won't need anything here, right? So the next thing is inside this class box image, there's an image, right? So let's make another style rule here, box image, that's the div, space, image, that's the tag inside this div, right? And we'll give this a couple styles. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set the width of the image to 100%. Okay, so that means that the image will have to be 100% of its container. So it'll have to be 100% of this guy. Okay? And then often we'll want to do height auto, though it seems like in the past you had to do this, and then nowadays it seems like browsers kind of do that automatically, but I'll throw that in there anyway. By putting the height auto here, what's going to happen is the height will keep proportion with the width. See, if we set the width, then it's possible the height might not change, you know, and so we'd have the height and width would be out of proportion, right? So by doing height auto, it's going to keep them kind of, you know, the same ratio, okay? May also be helpful to put display block here. Note that the image tag is an inline tag by default, and every once in a while that can create a problem. I'm going to put display block in there, okay? So we'll save this, right? So that's all we need there, right? And then we'll hide it, and then we'll go back and we'll refresh our page. Hey, that looks pretty good now, right? So the pictures fall right into the box there. And then what's nice about this is that when the boxes shrink, the images shrink with them. When we get to the 50% layout, then the images fill the boxes here too, right? So that works for us also. Right, so that's working pretty good. You know, if we were doing like an iPhone app, you know, we might actually, instead of doing the 50% layout, you know, the 50% layout might work, but we might actually want to do these as 100% so they fill the width of the screen. So we can do that too. I use the 50% here. Why don't we make this, you know, just change this to 100%, right? So I'm down here in the @media screen and max width 767. So this is our mobile style. You know what I should do is I should put a mark here. I should say mobile, you know, and then we'll mark this one as desktop. Okay, so this media query is for desktop stuff, and this is for our mobile stuff. And then everything above that is for, you know, kind of general, like everybody's going to share these styles, and then we're just going to overwrite the styles, you know, down here for the mobile and right in here for the desktop. Okay, so we'll save that, and then I'll go back here and we'll refresh it, and then, oh, there we go. That would be a nice mobile layout, right? It looks rather large here, but on the phone, remember, it's going to be a lot smaller because the pixels are smaller, right? Okay, so anyway, so there we go. That's how to deal with images in a responsive layout, right? You know, in general, we just want to set the width to 100% and make sure the height is auto, okay? So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that's helpful.